Hello, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Director McMillan, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today?
You put your right hand over the heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, thank you, Director McMillan. Okay, up next is the roll call, please.
Ready?
Here.
Director McMillan?
Here.
Director Pacala?
Yes.
Director Robert is absent. Director Avila?
Here. All right, we do have a quorum. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Director McMillan, for leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Up next, I do see we have members of the public online. This portion of the agenda may be utilized by any member of the public to address the Board of Directors on any matter within the jurisdiction of the board that does not appear on the agenda and on matters that are on the agenda but are not designated as action items. Depending on the subject matter, the Board of Directors may be unable to respond at this time or until a specific topic is placed on the agenda at a future Calleguas board meeting. In accordance with the Ralph M. Brown Act, please limit remarks to 3 minutes. If you would like to speak, please raise your hand. And do we have any members of the public in person?
We do not.
Okay, I see no raised hands. Thank you, everybody. And up next, do we have any items to be added to the agenda?
No items.
No items to be added to the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Any recommended changes or any requests?
No.
None. Okay, up next we have no presentations. So moving on to the consent calendar. All right, would anyone like to pull out any of the items out of the consent calendar or have questions on them?
Yeah, Mr. President, I do have questions on 6B, D, and E.
B, D, and E. Okay. All right, Director Pacala, go ahead and kick it off on 6B.
Okay, this is a payment register. I'll refer to the page numbers because there's no numbers listed here. So it's page 24 of 161. There's a payment of $417 to County of Ventura for well monitoring permit. My question is, what is this well monitoring for?
Yes, as part of the Lindero Pump Station Rehab Project, we are going to be decommissioning a well that's on site. So we had to get a permit from the county.
Or you're going to be abandoning your?
It's going to be abandoned.
Abandoning.
Abandoning, sorry, I should have used abandoning.
Okay,
It's just a monitoring well, right?
It is.
good. So it's monitoring well, but we are abandoning.
It's going to be abandoned. It's right where one of the new pile footings for the
Okay.
generator pad will be constructed.
Yes. County requires abandonment. If you find an abandoned well, unused well, so that's what you're, okay.
That's correct. Thank you.
On page 25 of 161, a payment to mowing tractors.
Yeah, I had that too.
Oh,
6,000.
you beat me to it. The mowing
Yep.
tractor.
There's actually, this is covered by your presentation later, right,
Okay.
Omar? There's a presentation later on the agenda with some of the remotely operated vehicles that we're using in all sorts of variations, and that includes this one. So I think
Okay.
any questions you have will be answered then.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
All right. On page 27 of 161, a payment of $46.97 for Starlink kits and services. How many kits do we have? Is this a monthly charge?
The West.
Taking a minute to catch up to where we were. The Starlinks is 4 kits and that is a yearly charge. So that was the cost. That was the cost for annual services for all 4 at a 50 gig plan. So we got they don't for enterprise accounts You don't get to do speed rates like you would do for a personal account. So it's an actual data usage. And if we go over that data usage, then we'll get billed for extra blocks of data if we go over that throughout the year.
Thank you. On page 27 of 161, a payment of $27,072 to John Lisi Pumps for hydromatic grinder pumps. Where are these grinder pumps?
They are at the toe of the dam, so any seepage that comes through there, we pump that water back up.
Oh, we have grinder pumps there, not just,
Right, because of the consistency of that water, the grinder pumps last longer than just a standard pump.
oh, I see. Okay. Thank you. Page 27 of 161, there are two payments totaling 26,658. I guess this is for Ian, for Leadership Development Network. How often do we provide leadership development training for our staff?
Which page is that again?
Page 27. I added two of the invoices, 9708 and 10,948, 26,658.
Yeah, it's the LDN costs.
Yeah, the LDN costs. So those cover the first two workshops that we've had as part of the year-long leadership training that we've had this. So it's Drew Olson flies out on a Sunday and stays for 3 days. So it's 3 days of instruction plus the coordination work that Tricia and I do with him beforehand.
So is it
It's gonna be-
annual basis or we?
This is a single contract for 5 workshops.
Oh, single contract for about 5, okay,
Yeah.
that's clear, okay, thank you.
So they'll be done. The last one will be November. So it started 2 months ago and there'll be 3 more between now and the end of the year.
Thank you. Page number 29 of 161. There's a payment of $79,285 to Quinn Company for a trailer mounted standby generator. I'm not sure whether I asked this question before. How many portable standby generators do we have?
Don't have that number off the top of my head. I know
You have more than one?
I can send it. Oh, we have several portable.
Okay, that's all right.
And they vary in sizes. So this one is for the networking center that's being built so that our SCADA system and has its own separate backup power.
So each one of them are different KWs then.
They are all
Yes.
all different.
I'll be curious to know just how many,
Okay, I'll send that to you.
what size?
Okay.
Thank you. There's a payment of $1,465 to Sunbelt Rentals for forklift rental.
I had a question on the same one.
Okay, you.
But,
You asked.
My question is, we have that forklift rental there for 1465, but I also see we purchased a forklift a couple pages prior for 43,059. I'm wondering what size forklift we purchased and what size forklift was the rental.
I'll have to get that information for you. The rental was in the interim while we were waiting for our new forklift. We had to decommission our forklift. It no longer met safety requirements, and what we would have to go through was send that back to the actual manufacturer, which is actually all the way in Japan. So we couldn't do that.
Wow.
And we had to get a new forklift, and I'll get you all the specifications for the forklift.
Okay. Is it a larger forklift, smaller forklift?
It's a larger forklift.
Okay, so like a 30K. Is that gonna be able to work for things like when you guys were lifting pipes the other day with the forks?
Yeah, pipes, are valves we can lift with that forklift.
Oh, okay. And that, by the way, that piece I mentioned last time, it's called a jib boom.
We've already been talking to the forklift supplier to see what they have. If they already have something that's, so we can order that.
Quick work. Director Facala, sorry, is that the same question you
No,
were gonna?
I'm glad you picked it up. We think alike. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Uh, That's all I have on item 6B.
I have a question. You got four of mine, so thank you very much.
Oh,
Yeah,
next, I'm sorry, I should have asked.
No. On page 30, I saw that there were two cars that under Roy's towing was about $962. That's what kind of cars are these? That expensive?
These are our portable generators that we use for the LV interconnect. So it does require a large vehicle to tow those out there and bring them back.
We did some on-site testing, so they had to be towed out there for that.
Got it. Thank you. Done.
all right, any other questions? Director Quay, do you have anything to add?
No.
All right, next one, from the consent calendar, Director Facala mentioned 6D. Anyone have questions on 6 Alpha or 6 Charlie? Okay, moving on to 6 Delta, Director Facala.
Anybody has questions before I go?
No, go ahead.
I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to know how much funds were involved.
So when you're saying what funds are
How
involved,
much?
up to $15 million. Right now it's zero.
Okay.
This is just an opportunity for us to put some of our extra money in there. It's going to be one of our liquid investments. Get back quickly without losing market value. So
Thank you. Carla?
Well, if it's my turn, I have a few questions. How different is this trust fund compared to Ventura County Pool? In other Ventura County Pool we used to have, correct?
yes,
Now, this particular one is a JPA with the county plus waterworks. That's how the JPA was formed, correct?
this JPA is not with the county at all. It's more statewide. So there's about a bunch of other cities, special districts can all invest in this. This is closer to LAIF with the people that are involved. It's not the Ventura County Pool.
I understand it's not Ventura. When I read through your report, it says Placer County and a water district created the JPA, then other people joined. That's how I read.
Yes, that's how it started. So now they've got billions of dollars in investments,
How much?
billions.
Billions.
Yes, they've got a lot of investments. It's like LAIF. LAIF has billions of dollars of investments from agencies throughout the state of California. So there's a lot of investments in there. It's something that's used highly throughout the state now as an opportunity between LAIF and this camp
Okay.
investment. It's different from the Ventura County is that we will get our interest monthly and we will get it instantly. So
Hear that.
just now received interest
Yeah.
that we earned back in December.
Right.
So we received that in June. And that's one of the reasons that we're kind of getting away from the county,
I know.
because I shouldn't have to wait 6 months in order to get my interest.
I know. What is the current beneficial interest on CAM or under this program? Do you know what the current interest is?
It's very similar to LAIF right now. So I think they're both about the same. There was a time where camp was higher than LAIF and they've kind of evened out right now. So I think that we're going to be watching to see which one's higher, which is which one we're going to be putting our money into.
Good. So is Calleguas going to invest within the participant shares or investor shares? There are two types of shares there.
I don't know the answer to that. I'll have to get back with you on that to know exactly which one, but I'm sure we're going to be a participant. So we're probably going to be looking at participant shares, but I don't know exactly. I have to go take a look.
Oh, I was wondering whether we have an option of putting in the investor share.
Several different types of investments that we can do. And we're going to be doing one specific one, and I think it's more on the participant side.
Okay. Then participants, I guess. Okay. Thank you. That's all.
You've got my question.
All
Okay,
right.
so, can I go?
Yes,
Yeah, so has legal reviewed the agreement?
yes.
Okay, very good. investment choices, are they in line with the Calleguas investment policy?
So camp is the investment. So it is in the investment policy now. We added that the last time we approved the investment policy. So camp is like Leaf. It has its own line for as an investment.
To ask these questions for due diligence reasons. So the camp investment advisor is an agency, management, team, group, or individual?
It's going to be it's a group of individuals to manage the investments.
And then I think I got your answer already about staff satisfied with the investment action and liquidity.
Yes.
And then you address the withdrawal of funds. So much like Director Pacala, I see investor and participant. Investor is the investor agreement, participant is the declaration of trust. Who are these guys? What do we know about the trustees that are listed in the agreement?
Like which ones are there personally? I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to get back to you. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Okay. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Director Coity, and thank you, Dan, for answering the questions. Do we have any additional questions for item 6D in the consent calendar? Okay, moving on to 6E. Approve professional services to be performed in fiscal year 26-27 on contracts without a fixed scope and fee. Director Pacala.
Yes, I'm looking for my notes, but all this. There are five contracts here. One of the contracts is for NVS Incorporated for field testing during inspection. My question is, how much did we spend this fiscal year, maybe through end of this month? How much would we be spending?
I have to pull up the exact number.
But approximately.
We typically get close to that
600
limit. Yes, typically it's within 10% of that, if I remember correctly. So we always have a buffer there. But I can get you the exact number after this meeting.
Yeah, I was just looking at 600 next year, 600. Do we need all 600 next year? That was my question. So if you already saying it's within 10%.
Well, actually, it probably is a little bit less this year, but we're ramping up construction activity significantly between Lindero Pump Station rehab, the projects going on here, the discharge station for the SMP. We're going to be going out to bid on Lake Bard Pump Station, Ventura interconnection. So
Yeah.
I think we might be under this year, but next year,
Yeah, there was a
lot of soils and concrete testing.
last year before we wrapped up the LV interconnection project, we did have to come back to the board asking for additional budget because we did run out of budget for that contract.
Well, I thought because the LV interconnection, that's a large sum, 600,000 plus other projects we had. So I guess our general manager said we have more projects.
Yes, yes,
We're headed into a very heavy construction cycle.
that's correct.
Another question I have is General Pump Company. This is for Omar. Didn't we recently approve a $500,000 contract for deep well pump maintenance?
Yes, we have two different contracts with General Pump. One is for the wells, but the other one is for the pumps and motors that are not at the well field.
So this 250 is for not the deep wells.
Correct.
Deep pumps, I should say. Okay, Father. Okay, thank you. That's all, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Director Pacala. Any other questions for item 6E? Okay, thank you. And with that, I'm looking for a motion for the consent calendar.
So move.
Second?
First and second, roll call, please.
Director Quady, Director McMillan,
Yes.
Director Pacala, Director Robert is absent, Director Avila.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Up next, we have action items. First up is discussion regarding adoption of fiscal year 26-27 budget, including updated salary schedule and org chart with reclassified positions.
Main directors, tonight we're looking to adopt the budget. So we went through an extensive presentation at the last board meeting where we went through all the details. At this meeting, we're looking to just formally adopt the budget so that we have it ready by July 1st, 2026. We've also provided the org chart, which shows where the new safety specialist position is going to be under HRRM, as well as the salary schedule, because we have that new position. We have a new salary that is included. So we have to adopt a new salary schedule with this. That we're just looking for adoption of the budget for this new fiscal year. I'm available for any questions.
Okay. I know we've already had time to review, we've already reviewed the budget in the past, but do we have additional questions or comments on the budget?
Yes, I do have questions. I did not get a chance to review last time we talked about it, so I just have some questions. Questions.
Okay.
My questions are related to, I can refer to the page numbers. On page number 83 of 161 on your budget.
Which department would that be?
Page 83 of our budget, if you look at the net debt services in the proposed budget has decreased by $149,730. Why is that decrease?
Because as we pay them down, we pay less interest every year.
Oh, okay.
And let me take a look at the exact accounts so that
It's a good news, it's going down, but I was just curious.
it goes down, really it goes down every year because the principal amounts change and the interest amounts change. And the amount that the principal goes up that we're paying is less than the interest.
On page 84 of 161, under net operating revenues, there's a rental income of 45,140. Is this the rent we get from the employees?
Yes, for the district housing.
Oh, okay. I thought so. So this is what percent? I figured it's about 3.58%. Is that how it was figured out?
What, an increase?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we increase it with the COLA, with the cost of living. So we do the same amount that the employees are getting raises. We actually raise the rent at the same time.
So it's a COLA.
It's a COLA. It's November to November. Annual, CPI.
Thank you. On page 85, under non-operating expenses, the revolving debt interest expense is increasing by 50% from 430 to 650,000. Why is that increasing so much?
So the revolving debt is at $20 million that we said we were going to be borrowing. And we have not drawn down that much as some of the projects. If you remember, I originally did the project for the crew room, which stalled. So we haven't been spending as much. And then we've added some more projects and they're starting to get going now. So I see us drawing down on that revolving loan, which will increase our amount of interest that we have to pay.
So we started drawing down, that's why interesting. Okay. Okay. Just a general comment on all budget units for every department. There's an increase in employee benefits, anywhere between 1.25% to 42%, depending on which department you look at. I'm talking about the employee benefits. Why does it change from one department to the other department?
It could depend on the employees, what benefits they're getting. Some employees have a single person versus family coverage in the medical, dental, health, vision. So there's more cost there, and we've been moving a lot of employees around, and the benefits are based on the actual employees and where they're at and the benefits that they're taking.
I guess it depends on number of employees, how long they have been here and all of the.
Yes.
And some of our employees added to their families.
Yes, as family grows, as they start having the children, then they get onto the family plan, which increases the cost. Last year, in some of them, the employees were partial years because we did a lot of reclasses last year and we didn't fill those positions. We knew we weren't going to fill those positions until the middle of the year. So I only budgeted 6 months. And this year, it's a full year worth of benefits. Okay, so that's probably why there's like a little bit here and then a bigger gap in some other ones.
Makes sense. Thank you. I have a comment about the schedules. We have employee salary schedules. The comment I have is I was going through the schedules. And this salary schedule is based on the cost of living again?
We did not change anything on the salary schedule since January, except for the fact that we added the safety specialist onto this schedule.
Oh, you just added,
That's the only thing we changed. That's why I think it's even highlighted.
yes, I saw
The reason
that.
it's highlighted, that's the only thing that changed.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, I'll bring this up at some other time, but that answers my question. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Director Pacala. Great questions as usual. Any other questions for 6E? If not, looking for, sorry, not 6E, I'm on 7 Alpha. I'm looking for a public comment. If any members of the public would like to comment on the budget, please go ahead and raise your hand. All right, no comment. Go ahead and look for a motion.
I make a motion.
So we have
Second.
and a second. Roll call, please.
Director McMillan?
Yes.
Director Pacala?
Yes.
Director Robert is absent. Director Avila?
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. Up next, we have CSDA Board of Directors, term 27 to 29, seat C election.
Charlotte's going to handle this one as our CSDA expert.
Director, so it is time to vote for one of our representatives to the California Special Districts Association Board of Directors. There are 18 members of that board. CSDA divides the state into 6 networks. Each network has 3 seats, seat A, B, and C. And this will be a vote for seat C in the coastal network. At the April 1st meeting, your board voted to nominate Director McMillan to that board. There are 3 other candidates. And the action item is to adopt a motion to select one of the candidates to advance to the board, to CSDA rather.
Thank you, Charlotte. Director McMillan, would you like to give us your pitch?
My picture's in the board packet.
All right.
I read it. It's impressive.
Some of it's changed, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
All right. In that case, any other board discussion or recommendation before I ask for public comment?
Well, only the comment I have is I know at least one more person on the list, and actually he worked for me and he's a sanitation, Scott. He's also a very good candidate.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
I'd like to recommend Director McMillan.
Make a second.
I was going to second, but then
So we have a motion, but I'm gonna go ahead and open up for public comment since it is an action item. If any members of the public would like to make a comment, please raise your hand. Okay, roll call, please.
Director Quady?
Aye.
Director McMillan?
yes.
Director Pacala?
Yes.
Director Robert is absent. Director Avila?
Aye, the motion passes. Congratulations, Director McMillan. Up next, we have reports. First up is May 2026 water use and sales. And Dan Smith.
Okay, good evening, directors. Today we have the water use and sales report for May. So we had another good month of May. So we sold 7,127 acre feet. We budgeted only 6,560. So overall, we are like right on budget, and we are right on budget. And you can see that we're on pace to do the 75,000 acre feet that we had originally budgeted. I'm still going to point out that we do have that leak that's providing us extra water this year. That will go away. That's about 1,000 acre feet. So hitting the budget because of the leak, but I'll take it. Looking at the overall year graphs, I mean, they're almost identical because we're almost through the fiscal year. But you can see that we've had some low months in the beginning of the year, but we've definitely picked it up as we had a drier spring and hotter spring than usual this year. So we've definitely made up for that shorted water sales because we had a lot of rain in September and October and some in November, which lowered the water sales in those early months. So overall, it equaled out, but it was a long time that we were thinking we were going to be short on the water sales this year. Looking at the Met invoice for May, you can see that we had total water sales of $10,889,000. We did put some water into storage, $143,000. We had a reconciliation adjustment to get to the total water purchase of $11.1 million. We continue to receive the LRP funds for the desalters to the tune of $103,000. We did get some MAP money this last go around of $53,000, so that's good news for us. That's income to us. And we did have some conservation program costs. Some of it's probably offset by that MAP money. Overall, the bill for May is going to be $12,058,000. So they're climbing as we go along. Looking at the SMP discharge, we discharged 71.1 acre feet, pretty close to where we expect to be during this time of year, at 75 acre feet. And for the year, we're still about 80 acre feet over what we had anticipated for this time of year. So we're still looking good on the SMP. Looking at hydropower, we came in right at budget pretty much. Can't get too much closer than that. Which means since we were already at budget before, we're still at budget overall for the year and on pace for our $600,000 total revenues for the year. And we still got 2 more months of input for the power generation. So looking at the overall revenues, you can see that overall we brought in $14.6 million in water revenues, bringing our year-to-date total to $133 million out of the total $147 that we have budgeted. So we're just right at budget, right where we'd expect to be. Yes, Rick.
Yeah, my question is on recycled water sales. There's a healthy increase there. Do we know it's because they added customers or is it demand?
I think it's some demand and there's also a meter that's included in there and I haven't really picked it up in the projections that I need to make sure I'm budgeting more for in the future years. And I think I upped it for this next year.
Thank you.
With that, recycled water sales are about $18,000. And so we've sold $163,000 for the year, which we are well over budget, which not big dollars, but it always looks good to be over budget instead of under budget. The SMP fees also include to be over budget at this point. We're already at 100%. Typically, we're closer to 90%. And power generation, like I said, we're right on pace to hit the $600,000. So we're looking good on all three. Going over cash and investments, you can see that we did add a little bit in cash and investments. Really had to do with the interest earned in the investment account through Chandler. So overall, the investments are holding strong. We're getting close to that 200 million mark. Continue to earn interest. We'll probably hit that by the next month or so. And that is all I have for the water use and sales report.
All right, thank you, Dan. Do we have questions or comments from the board?
No, great report. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dan. All right, up next, we have the Metropolitan Update. Henry.
The presentation and oh. I don't think this update will be a surprise to any of you. We have the director transition underway at Metropolitan, and it's proceeding smoothly. And much more smoothly than me getting the presentation to advance here. So on June 9th, at the board meeting, we had the board chair announcing new appointments to the committees that Director McMillan had previously staff. And he had this very kind and nice comment to say, that he mentioned that Director McMillan was someone who was near and dear as his former colleague at Metropolitan. And he thanked her for her service, not only on the board, but for the many years that she adequately and really capably well represented Metropolitan as a staff. So it was a very nice comment, and Chair Ortega was looking forward to having a commendation for Director McMillan for her service to Metropolitan. So it's a beautiful way to tie a bow on Director McMillan's service. Next, the previous Chair Ortega welcomed Director Pacala and President Avila in his office. I believe that we have thanks to President Avila for arranging this meeting. It was a very wonderful and relaxed meeting. I also told President Avila and Director Pacala, since they were at the meeting, they may have their own views to add to this, but what was the discussion about? So he welcomed us all into his office, and he had a few comments on a wide variety of topics. One of the first things that he talked about was his style of questioning conventional assumptions. And just before we went into the meeting, we were talking about Chair Ortega, and I told President Avila and Director Pacala that I like to describe his approach as dialectical. He begins with one position and then seemingly moves to another position, and all in the service of evolving to a new position that has bits and pieces of both. We weren't probably 5 or 10 minutes into the conversation where he broke the news to our directors that was how he liked to proceed. That he liked to question conventional assumptions and believed that encouraged discussion that would open up new opportunities. He spoke about the challenge of managing reliability under fiscal constraints and his concern that the board faces a number of options that are all very expensive. And there's a concern that on his part that they'll look at any one of them and just say like, no, that's too expensive. And he doesn't believe that that's going to really serve the long-term reliability needs for the metropolitan service area. He touched on what his feeling was about CAMP moving forward. You received an update on CAMP at my last update. His remarks were remarkably similar. He acknowledged that there was an idea that CAMP was somehow going to pick a project that was going to solve all the reliability issues with Metropolitan. His belief is that it's impossible to do that. That instead we're to have a truly adaptive approach. There's going to have to be a series of decisions that will incrementally move these projects forward. As part of that, he shared his assessment of Delta Conveyance. As you know, it's the district's position to support Delta Conveyance. It's Metropolitan's position to support Delta Conveyance. He is more pessimistic on that, and it has to do more with the change of governor and his belief that it's going to be a difficult thing to bridge in terms of moving ahead with Delta Conveyance. And then finally, he talked about coordination with Aqua's vision for our water future. He was concerned that he felt Metropolitan wasn't adequately involved. That seemed like an issue that he should be able to resolve. But I think he reached out perhaps because President Avila's involvement with Aqua. So it was an opportunity to talk about those issues. And I would be open, President Avila, if you want to add comments or
Yeah.
add.
You hit it right on the head, Henry. You got all the main points. I did reach out to Aqua staff, and let them and made them aware that it might be a good idea for the division to be successful, to have Met's buy-in and to possibly reach out and do a presentation. Aqua staff reached out to Met, and Met staff said, no, thank you. We'll cover this on our own. So a little bit of a disconnect there. And I also had that discussion. I had a meeting yesterday with Ernie. Since I'm out here in his neighborhood, I met with him for dinner, and we discussed that same topic on Aqua being more involved in regards to Metropolitan and bringing them in so that we're all on the same page. So good work there.
Director Pacala, any comments on the conversation?
Well, Henry, that's a good summary of the discussion we have had with the chair of the Metropolitan. But I do want to thank a few people in this transition, especially Jackie. After our board appointed me, she reached out to me saying, "How can I help you?" And I said, "Well, I don't know anything about Metropolitan." Then she said, "I'll provide you as much information as I can." Believe it or not, she sent it to me. On Sunday, she calls me, "Did you get it?" I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And also, I want to thank our President Avila. He's the one who scheduled a meeting with Chair Ortega, and it was very good introduction for me to listen to Chair Ortega, see what his views are about data conveyance project and Aqua and other areas of interest to us. So what I also want to tell you is I had my swearing in ceremony Monday, which is 15th, June 15th. So I was really impressed the way it was organized. It was arranged for, and at the swearing in ceremony, I met clerk of the board staff. I met about 12 or 13 different staff members. I got to meet with each and every one of them. It happened within the big boardroom. As I walked in, I was shocked to see, wow, how big of a room. My photo is right there, and I was shocked. I said, "What's going on here?" But staff was very nice, and they gave me all the information. They gave me lots of documents, all the training materials. I have everything I need now to get to the committee meetings and also to help contribute as much as I can at the Metropolitan and make sure our viewpoints are heard there at the Metropolitan Board meeting. Thank you all for this smooth transition.
Well, thank you, Director Pacala, and there he is in the big room with the board staff. And as he wrote in his email about swearing in, it's official. So now the hard work begins.
Right.
And
And after my ceremony, I was asked if I would meet with key staff after the committee meetings on 23rd. I said, sure, yes. Then assistant to the Chair Ortega, she already scheduled 4 meetings. One with general manager, one with auditor controller, one with ethics manager.
And then our council,
One with, who else?
general counsel, Scully,
Rubin.
John Rubin.
John Rubin. So I have 4 20-minute meetings right after the
And they've improved the onboarding process. They did not do that.
Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. I just want to pass it on to you.
very good. That concludes my update. And thank you all the directors for your work and look forward to working with Director Pacala.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Henry. Do we have any questions or comments from the board? All right, thank you, everyone. Moving up to strategic plan update, 2026 Board of Directors, foundational elements and level of effort. Ian.
Yes, good morning or good afternoon. It's been in this room all day. I don't know what time it is. Casino, there's no windows. Could use some oxygen probably, but yeah, it's my pleasure with Jen Lancaster to talk to you a little bit today about some of the questions, the way that we're thinking about framing up the strategic planning process for the board over the next several months, and starting off with a few questions that we want to get your input on. Hopefully you've had a time to think about them a little bit since the packet came out. Those include talking about your expectations for the strategic plan update. Generally speaking, is that some tweaks and some refreshing, or is that people thinking we're blowing it out and starting over? Because that will impact how staff puts together the process over the next couple of months. Checking in on the vision statement, our strategic priorities, and the planning horizon. But before we get to there, I just wanted to provide a little bit of what I see as the background of strategic planning. As many of you know, I'm sure strategic planning has a long history. It comes from the military, and it certainly has been around a lot longer than 1871. But this guy, Prussian Field Marshal Helmut von Moltke the Elder, not to be confused with the younger, was really revolutionized what we think of in military tactics is really like a distributed decision-making approach to military tactics. This is one of these 19th century guys that did everything. He was a cartographer, and we still use his maps today in Eastern Europe. He was really involved in Eastern European railways, and he was the first one to use the railway as a strategic asset during wartime. So he built military plans around railroads to move men and material. This was 1871. This was in the middle of the Franco-Prussian War, which he led for the Prussians when he was 70 years old. He was a pretty impressive dude. So given all that, he was a really brilliant strategic thinker. He coined this phrase, which is very famous in the military. Director Avila knows, no plan of operation extends with any certainty beyond the first encounter with the enemy forces. Right. Or in the parlance of our times, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Another famous one, military leader, known for his planning and response and tactics, Dwight D. Eisenhower said, in planning for battle, I've always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. Now, I don't want to undersell the importance of the strategic plan because I use it on a weekly basis. I refer to it sometimes multiple times a week. I know that many of our managers do. It informs a lot of our strategic outreach, both in terms of or public outreach and external affairs, both in terms of strategy and in terms of content. You all see versions of these objectives and strategic priorities every time you read a memo, because they inform the way that we write our memos and informs the way that we think about our work. But no matter what we do, once the plan is published, it is set in amber. And the point that we're trying to make, and that what we're going to go through over the next several months, is that the difference between a plan and the planning, and I think what a lot of these people that I just talked to were talking about, is that the time spent together in contemplation of the future, the challenges and opportunities, the risks, rewards, the constraints that we have, the aspirations that each of us have, the opportunity to figure those things out together and align on them and understand them together is really where the value lies. So staff wants to make sure that we are setting up a process so that you all can engage in this kind of collective thinking about the future in a way that makes sense to you and a way that is productive. So today, session 0, which is really just, as I said, for us to get a sense of the level of effort that you are thinking for the strategic plan update. What kind of strategic plan is most useful to Calleguas at this point in its evolution? Do you remember the instigating event for the strategic planning session that happened in 2022, which was before several of you were on the board, was the drought that happened in 2021 and 2022. In particular, the Emergency Water Conservation Program, which put the 6-member agencies at that time in the State Water Project dependent area of metropolitan system at a real disadvantage. Metropolitan had water, unable to get it to us. The board essentially said, we can't let this happen again, go figure out what to do differently. And that has set in motion a number of things: organizational restructure, changes in our attitude and engagement across the region and the state. It's set in motion a number of plans, starting with the Water Resource Implementation Plan and continuing through to today, which we had our first workshop in the desalter, the regional desalter. So we want to make sure that we're checking in to determine what parts of that plan from 2023 the board wants to address and at what level. So the first question that I'm going to ask before I turn it over to Jen is, what do each of you hope to achieve with this strategic plan update? Are we looking at a rehaul? Are we looking at a tweak, putting the board's kind of 2026 stamp on the plan? What do you all think?
All right, I'll go to the board first. Any questions or comments?
Well, I'm thinking of more retweaking with what we have. Some discussion about AI, how AI will be impacting our workload and workforce. Maybe we could talk about storage issues. Maybe that could be discussed as part of this strategic plan I'm talking about. Nowadays, with hydrology changes, we have a lot of challenges about supply. Any water quality challenges if we have, how can we address those? What are those coming up in the future? Those are my high-level points.
Great, thank you.
Director Quady, Director McMillan?
I think it's still apropos. It pretty well hits on all the things that we're trying to pursue, so. Maybe with the little tweaks that Director Pacala talked about, yeah, because we didn't address AI. Storage is in there, but we might want to build that out a little more in terms of what we're looking at with the.
Yeah, exactly.
Study that we've got. Director Quady?
I see four things as I thought about it. And one of the things that should be noted as well in the strategic plan is that this board the Aqua Vision statement. So some of those items may very much be a part of that. The first topic that I actually was thinking about is the core function. And I think the staff has demonstrated time and again that they can do it. But the mission statement still remains important. I think Director Pacala touched on that a little bit. Some is still relevant. The regional coordination part of the the client resilience part that still pertains, I believe, and all that's kind of to be assumed. I mean, that is very important. Those were important then; they're important now, and if we continue to have success, we can build on the next items, which I think is already advanced. One of the items is advanced statewide mechanisms. So, in other words, to be able to look at the entire state system and see what we can do to help. And I think the external affairs people have reached out and accomplished a lot of things already there in terms of both the federal funds and the state activity that we're hitting in legislation. And so lastly, the access to the federal actions, which also we've had some successes with. And I think those should be ingrained as part of the same bill for a direction where the Calleguas wants to go. So those are my thoughts. Again, some of it can be borrowed from the successes we've already had. And I just think those deserve attention.
Great.
Absolutely. All of those are great points. The reason I asked for the strategic plan to be brought up is I believe the strategic plan is a ever evolving document, and it changes and it shifts with the district as we change and we grow. So I think it's important to bring it up every few years. Not only that, you know, there's things like technology that change. We've also increased our reliance on our external affairs staff and our visits to DC and, you know, Sacramento. And I think the district has shown how effective those meetings are, and that should be a part of our mission and our strategic plan. Also, I felt that some things needed clarification in the strategic plan, but no major changes. So that's I to end it, I think that's everything that the board said is spot on, plus a couple of things I added.
Thanks. All right, Jen.
So I will just walk through the three topics that we kind of want to focus on at this stage, which is going to, again, set the foundation for the level of effort and how we're going to set up the process of updating the strategic plan. So starting with the first one is the vision statement. So as Ian said, this vision statement was born of the challenges we faced in the last drought and Met's inability to meet all of our demands in the State Water Project dependent areas. And so this really represented a pretty fundamental shift in the terms of how we think of ourselves and our role in water in Ventura County. So it really was very new at that time. And so we wanted to know, does that still reflect what you see us as we're moving into the future, or is a new model for resilience more reflective of what we're currently doing? And is there a different vision that you think would be more fitting for, you know, the next whatever time frame? And we'll get to that in the next couple topics.
All right, over to the board.
Well, I actually just thought that I spoke to that a bit, that that would be something that's shown that the staff has succeeded at, and it's a continuous maintenance kind of thing, and I'd like to see that success continue. Again, I was going to pile on a little bit of some of the new staff successes to recognize those as being the statewide mechanisms being advanced, as well as the continuing federal access to their actions. So,
All right.
I would say we enhance in what we are doing now, we add what we're doing and what could we do better in some of the areas what we are doing now. That could be one of the top of discussions.
Okay. So we may reword it, but keep on the same theme. Okay.
Yeah, resilience, reliability are the goal.
well, and for me, it's more of a Calleguas now has an opportunity, both because of where the board is, as well as what the staff's doing, that you have the opportunity to back away almost like telescopically to be able to see the entire state. And let's put that into view to see what we can do to help things along. There's going to be a lot of interstitial things that happen, but let's kind of look for that long-term vision of getting the whole state in view.
Okay. Do you have any other things?
That's I think that's it for board comments. Thank you, Jen.
All right. Moving on to our strategic priorities. So again, these are those 3 priorities that we identify in our current strategic plan, and that's deliver reliable service, improve resilience, and provide regional leadership. And I know these are all very important, and we have a number of objectives under each. And as we move forward, if you still agree that these are the strategic priorities that we should maintain, then in the next step, we'll look at those objectives and see where we need to add some, where we need to modify some existing ones. But really, the question is first, just to confirm whether you want to keep these as our only strategic priorities, or if you want to tweak any of them or add another strategic priority to this list.
I think, board. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Does anyone from the board like to make a comment?
Yes, I'm thinking what I see here are good priorities. We may want to consider adding water rates. In other words, predictable, reliable, predictable water rates. And so in the past, water rates have gone up and down. So everybody is looking at these rates. We have done a great job. Our staff has done a great job coming up with a predictable water rate for 5 years, 10 years. To me, rates are important. So something related to the rates.
Yes, they absolutely are. And I believe we have at least one objective under deliver reliable service. So it is included in the strategic plan already. It's just more of an objective because it's more of a kind of a pointed, detailed thing. And then with the priorities, we're looking at them as more like umbrellas. So that's how we had looked at it in the last plan, is putting great issues under reliable service, but we can certainly pull that out if the board thinks that it needs to be elevated to a priority level.
Well, and just to amplify Director McCullough's comment, some of the text that I put in with each of my 4 little levels that I was thinking about is that in regional coordination, again, the regional priorities continue as a new model for resilience. And the following sentence is protect regional affordability with a statewide view.
Okay. Yeah.
Intrinsic strength is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think these 3 are very important.
Okay.
I agree. Those 3 are very important, but going along with other things that are important that I think rise to priorities. This one would, I think, would probably go under improve resilience, but I think it merits to be a priority on its own is the diversification of supply, which is the main reason we brought up the strategic plan back in 2022, was so that we can have some separation from our only supply. And I think it merits its own priority as diversification of supply. That's the only one I have.
Great. And then the third topic is the planning horizon. So our current strategic plan does not have an explicit planning horizon, but we think it's important to have kind of a time frame that you're aiming at. The managers have gotten together and discussed this, and based on how each of us look at planning in our own departments, we tend to look at, or we agreed on like a 10-year horizon, because the further out into the future you get, of course, the more uncertainty you add in. And at a certain point, it's kind of, becomes too difficult to predict what it's going to look like. But you also don't want to be so nearsighted that you're not anticipating some of these large fundamental changes that may be coming down the road, and then giving ourselves time to prepare for them. So for the managers, we've chosen 10 years as our planning horizon when we think about our own internal departments. But perhaps that time frame is maybe too short for the board because you're looking at things at a different level than we as managers are. So we wanted to kind of explicitly nail down a planning horizon to kind of help focus what we want to achieve in this particular strategic plan, knowing it is a living document that we're going to come back to again and again. So I just want to open that up and see what the board thinks is an appropriate timeframe.
Very typical
Okay.
plans. And it's difficult to plan, decades in advance like MWD is doing with their integrated resources plan because so many things change.
Right.
I mean, and technology is going to be driving a lot of this. So at least it keeps it fresh. And we're, as Director or President Raul said, we're going to be checking in on this every few years just to see how we're doing on our progress. And maybe at that time we can say, well, maybe we need to push it out. But I think 10 years is.
Yeah.
I completely agree, Director McMillan. 10 years sounds pretty good, but I do think that we should definitely as a board revisit and review, maybe not make changes, but just make sure we review it and we understand it, say every 2 years or so. Okay.
I thought I heard 3 before, so I was gonna say, was it Raul? I was in agreement with that. It seems to me that there are some of these things that are probably with shorter timeframes than others. I think staff has shown great progress quite rapidly in some of these areas already. So I think some will be very short, 3 years, 2 years, but then the appropriate broad look is 10 years. So I buy into that and take a look at it in intervals, but
Absolutely.
So it sounds good.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And didn't clarify that. What I mean by the planning horizon is what do we like, where do we see the district in 10 years, if that's what we're choosing? So where do we want to be as a district in 10 years? And then from there, the priorities and the objectives are going to all be derived in a way that directs us in that particular way. And so some of the things, the objectives that we have, like you said, might be accomplished in a much shorter time frame. Some may take longer than 10 years, but just so that we recognize kind of what direction we want to be moving in as a district. And then, yes, checking in on that on a regular basis to make sure we're still on that track. Is that target still what makes sense given whatever changes have come up?
Well, planning horizon of 10 years seems good horizon, 10 years. As far as how often we want to revisit, I was thinking about 4 years, but maybe what Dr. Avila is saying is 2 years. Every 2 years we'll have elections, so maybe other board members, we may have.
That was my logic, Director Pacala. I thought about I was thinking 2 to 3 years, but I also remember that we might have new board members every 2 years, and it's good to go through, figure out where we are on our goals, figure out how much we've accomplished of our goals so that the new board members understand how far we've gotten, what remains of those goals, and figure out how much is left, and also adjust and make changes as needed. So times change and people change and districts change on their needs. So
that's a great point about turnaround, but I would want a new member to at least participate for 1 year before they decided on participating in the strategic plan.
Absolutely. So maybe a good idea, Director Quady, is to do it on non-election years, right? So we review it 1 year into so say we're having elections this year, we wouldn't review it till the following year.
Sounds reasonable.
Okay. So this has been really helpful. It's really given us an idea as far as the level of effort and kind of what you as a board are expecting to see. So what I'm hearing is just that we've got a really good plan. We can tweak it, but we don't need to, trash it and throw it and start from scratch. So that's going to be really helpful. So then I think as we're moving forward, this process is going to unfold through regular sessions here at board meetings, just like tonight. And as we dive into the details, we'll keep coming back to you for more direction and guidance. And then we are planning an offsite retreat in the fall where we'll take a real good chunk of time to go over kind of everything that we've been able to bring together and make sure that that is really the plan that best suits your board for the update. And that's kind of the envisioned process. And I guess if you have any questions, we can answer them at this time.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Questions or comments?
Well, I guess I'll just read the point bulletins 3 and 4, just for what I wrote on Jackson. For advanced statewide mechanisms, focus towards statewide critical infrastructure, modern water management, engage or respond to innovative permitting, fiscal resources, regulatory actions, drought, flood, wildfire preparation, housing needs, public health, agricultural support, and economic value. Those are all the subtitles. Access federal actions, pursue and or support grant opportunity efforts involving Calleguas, regional or state infrastructure. Remain flexible and agile among funding categories. Infrastructure, aging, modernization, water management, cyber, housing, public health, drought, floods, wildfire, water data and science, agriculture, climate resilience, and permitting, fiscal and affordability issues.
I like I'd like to add one more to your list, and that would be workforce development.
That sounds good. Good catch.
Absolutely. And I think that's another part that we can highlight, as Director Quade said, and if we're, kind of tweaking the vision statement on something that we've put a lot of staff energy in, especially with the HR department and Jen Vasquez and the workforce development, and we've made pretty great strides on that. And it is one of the objectives is preparing the workforce of the future. And we can certainly strengthen that and include it kind of as a higher level visibility item. I just want to echo what Jen said. It's been extremely helpful, and we will got a little strategic planning strike team working. So we will get back in front of you in short order with the next session. So thanks for your input.
So these are scheduled to be completed by a certain time, or?
So we're looking at, the summer is a little tough just because people are traveling and the board is here and there, but we're thinking of one session about this, hopefully no more than half an hour, once a month, and then a 4 to 6 hour retreat sometime in the fall as the kind of capstone.
Okay.
And then, so we'll have the plan finished by the end of the year.
By the end of the year, okay. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, staff. Okay, up next, we have a remote operated vehicle presentation. Omar.
Yeah, so this should answer any questions about the mower that came up during disbursements, as well as other fun and exciting labor-saving devices that the O&M department has been exploring and investing in.
Well, we're excited as we continue to develop our technology and our ROV equipment. So we have our remote solutions designed to propel the organization forward. Up top, we've presented on the pipe diver before, and it's actually in the budget. And that's the new technology of being able to do our PCC pipe inspections without dewatering. The previous board meeting, we had 2 of our devices here, and that was the pivot, which is our diver for our tanks. We can utilize it in the lake. And then we had the crawler that we can utilize to go in some of our pipes to inspect the chemical lines, go underneath the filter beds in some of our confined space areas. The last one, I'm not going to touch on because I'm going to get Matt to present that, and it's kind of an exciting new device. Next slide. So when we look at our ROV program, it's important that we figure out what do we want to do with it and what are the advantages to the district and to the employees. But it does improve our employees' safety by minimizing risk. We drive efficiency through enhanced maintenance inspection capabilities. And then we can optimize our operations to support growth in critical program areas where we may have not been able to put enough attention to. So this will give us those opportunities. Next slide. So when we do our traditional tank inspections, we do have to dewater the tanks. It is labor intensive. We do have water loss. We have to do permitting for our discharge permit. It impacts our purveyors. So that timing and communicating with them to coordinate. And also it is something that we look at. How many people do we have to put on this project and how long does it last? So on each tank, you're looking at about 10 staff members for about 5 days. And that's to dewater, that's to clean, that's to have the confined space rescue team there as well during the entire project. Fine. All right. So when we look at advancing our efficiency, so we mentioned that we have the pivot. So the pivot, as I mentioned before, allows us to deploy it into the tanks without dewatering. We eliminate confined space entry. We reduce the impact to the purveyors, reduce staffing to 4 people for 1 day. It does produce a high quality video that we can submit that data to engineering and they can review it. And engineering can decide whether we need to inspect anything else in there further. Or do we schedule another time where we actually have to dewater? So this allows us to go through there, do a preliminary instead of always dewatering an entry. Next slide. And then the crawler in, danger out. So it provides a safe access into our hazardous pipelines, confined spaces. We can deploy it quickly. It does have a full HD camera and we can tilt and pan and up into different angles. It does have a long battery life. We did buy extra batteries for the pivot and the crawler, so we don't have a lot of downtime. We can inspect the lake barred water filters, which is the plenum underneath the filter beds themselves, chemical injection lines, and we mentioned the well field discharge piping as well. Next slide. So traditional inspection of the filters. This you can see how tight of a space it is to get underneath the plenum. And you do have 2 people that are tethered together, so one can pull the other one out and if there is a need for a rescue. It does take a long time to inspect these, so you're constantly going out, giving somebody a break, switching your teams, but you still have your confined space team available up top as well. We're looking at about 36 hours to inspect a filter, so 360 hours spent to do all the filters. And then we also still have to do the confined space entry and ventilation. Next slide. So inspection meets innovation. So this is the crawler. We haven't done an inspection yet. This is just part of the training that we're going through, but we are expecting that we're gonna be able to cut our inspection and time about in half. So that's gonna save us not just being able to take our resources and perform maintenance in other areas, but now we remove that risk of staff having to go into the plenums or into these tight pipes just to inspect where our injection nozzles are or whether it's the collection system underneath the filter beds. So I'm going to hand this off to Matt.
Good question.
Sure.
You going to practice this?
Are we going to practice?
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought it in here. We'll bring it back and everybody can kind of mess with it again.
Good evening. So I'll introduce the newest item to the fleet, which we just received last week and have done a demo here, actually 2 demos, one at the well field and one here once upon delivery. So we purchased the RC mower, which is a R60 model. It's a remote control operated mower. you can stand here and 1,000 feet away, you can still be operating it. So it does have a camera on the front. It doesn't record, but you can have it here and watch where you're going. So about 1,000 feet, you can cut brush up to 1.5 inches in diameter. We did test that on the demo and it does work. 60-inch cutting width, adjustable cutting height, and it does 50-degree angles. Yeah, I mean, we did test that as well. So some of the safety features: emergency stop on both the machine and remote, auto shutdown when signal is lost, blade disengagement, unsafe tilt angles, and it reduces cause from heat exposure and rattlesnakes. Next slide.
It's been an especially busy rattlesnake year so far.
Yeah.
So it's a welcome change.
So I try to do an overview of sites that staff take care of. So we have the Wellfield 1 and 2, Lake Bard, and Springville Reservoir. Those are some of our bigger sites that we use manual weed whacking to do, and there's hillsides there. I know it's kind of hard to see, but there are inclines on hillsides where guys are actually weed whacking. And some of our pipeline segments, like Calleguas Conduit 6, Las Postas Feeder Unit 1, Lindero Feeder Unit 1, Moore Park, and Mesa Feeders, those are all remote locations and hillsides. So we'll be able to use the mower to get to these remote locations and not have to do so much hand clearing with weed whacking. Next slide. So with those previous pictures on the last slides, we kind of broke it down on hours and per employee. So Springville Reservoir is about 5 employees for 2 days, 70 hours. And we do that site about 4 times a year, which is about 280 hours. Same with the Wellfield, 6 employees, 2 days, 84 hours, 3 times a year, 252 hours. Wellfield 2, 8 employees, 5 days, 280 hours, 3 times a year, 840 hours. And then Lake Bard, 5 employees, 5 days, 170 hours, 3 times a year, 525 hours. That does depend on weather. So if it's a rainy season, we could be doing it more often. And that's a total of 1,897 hours. So with this RC mower, I think we could cut that down in half, utilize those employee hours to air and vacuum valve maintenance, cathodic protection, paintings and coatings, restore attention to facilities that we've kind of been skipping over just because weed has been taking majority of employees' time. So I think we can cut that down in half. For employee wise, it's going to be a benefit. And then this is just a brief overview of it. There is no sound. I took it out because this was during the demo day. And I don't think you want to hear employees talk. So this is actually in the rabbit mode. This is the full speed. Rabbit mode. Wow. Rabbit mode, yeah. So it's got turtle and rabbit mode, and you can control. It's got 5 different settings.
That's a tight turn.
It's like rattlesnake Armageddon.
I mean, it's pretty fast.
That's very fast. How often do the guys encounter rattlesnakes when they're out doing this kind of work?
It's almost every time. Every time they're out there, they at least see 1 or 2 rattlesnakes.
Wow.
We always have somebody watching
Yeah.
in case of.
Yeah, so this is
Yes, always.
being remote controlled.
Yep.
So it's not autonomous.
Yeah.
It's not like a
I see.
robot mower.
Yeah.
We have firefighting.
Be the next one.
Firefighting.
I was gonna ask about that, with that last fire, some of the reports said a tractor sparked the fire with when they were brush clearing. I think it's important that we have somebody nearby if we're doing that kind of work with that concern in mind.
It's always people present. 1 operating, 1 fire watch, and they can switch off during the day. Always 2 people. And there is an onboard fire extinguisher for what it's worth.
Plus the fire extinguishers in all the trucks.
Yes.
Every truck.
Every truck has a fire extinguisher.
And that was part of the problem with the Sandy fire is that guy didn't have a fire extinguisher on his mower.
Yeah. We also have 2 water buffaloes that we take on site too, 1,000-gallon or a 500-gallon. We'll have on site full water ready to go in case something does happen. Fire watch is always there.
How far away you can operate it from? You have to be so many
it has a 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for the presentations. Do we have any additional questions or comments from the board?
Yeah,
Right,
Omar,
Dr.
I have a question. So when we add up all the hours we are potentially going to save through this new equipment, how many person years is it? How many, did you figure it out? How many?
So when we did our first presentation on the pipe diver, that was right around 1,000 hours. And now we're getting close to possibly another 1,000 hours between all the projects. So it doesn't really save us as far as people. It allows us to do maintenance on areas that we haven't been able to get to.
So whatever savings we have in personnel costs or labor costs, so they will be doing the, should I say, neglected maintenance activities? What would they be doing?
They will be addressing some new programs that we have as well, right? We developed a cross connection program and we do have some abatement that we have to do. We have devices that we have to add, so we'll be able to do those. We can spend more focus on our cathodic protection, which is part of our painting and coatings task force. So on top of the painting and coatings, we will be looking at managing our cathodic protection internally, and then addressing some of the things that protect water quality, like our air and vac systems, where we do need to start replacing those. And it is labor intensive when we start rebuilding them as well. So we're able to refocus on a lot of those areas.
So what I'm hearing is we take on additional responsibilities like codings and.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Frees up staff to do higher level tasks and reduces risk.
yeah. And I know that Matt didn't mention it, but they let me know today, because so far we've encountered and taken care of 10 rattlesnakes. However, they've gone up to 35 rattlesnakes. So this will, we can look at staff hours, but we reduce that risk. And we also no longer need to have staff up on hillsides and angles where you can, roll your ankle or anything like that. So there's more than just that side of it.
Okay.
We think that the ROI on this thing is about 18 months.
Hey Omar, I'm curious, with all those rattlesnakes, what kind of safety measures will the staff take while they're out there using this equipment? Will they wear snake chaps or boots? What's the requirements?
Guards, right? They look like a gator, but that's what they're called. It's a wrap that goes around the top of your foot and goes about to knee height. So they do have those out there as well.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thankful.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
No, and I think this program might be a good candidate for, say, an Aqua JPIA HR La Bounty
There you go.
award.
Yeah.
I'm sure Director Quady would endorse that.
Absolutely, that's a good one. Okay, all right. Thank you, Omar, and thank you, staff. The next one up is General Counsel report.
This evening.
All right. Up next, we have Board of Director reports. Do we have any have we had any committees?
We have not since the last board meeting.
All right. Director's list of admin code reimbursable meetings. Director McMillan.
Okay, for Calleguas on June 4th, I attended CSDA's professional development and membership committees via Zoom on the 10th, Camarillo City Council via Zoom on the 11th, the West Ventura County Business Association State of the City address for Oxnard. On the 16th, Awa water issues. Also on the 16th, WBCBA's Age of AI presentation. Also tonight, they are on the 16th, the Oxnard City Council at the Council of Chambers with management. On June 17th, tonight's board meeting. For Metropolitan, June 5th, we had an inspection trip of West Basin and MWD's Pure Water, Southern California. And on the 8th and 9th, the MWD committee and board meetings. That's it.
Thank you, Director McMillan. Director Quady.
Okay, start with June 4th, the was up to be at the Aqua Regional Work Plans sessions. And we've got a report from Director Avila on that as well. And then on the 5th, we had the Aqua Executive Board meeting where the board recognized, among other agencies, Calleguas as a vision partner for the approval of the resolution that we passed 2129.
You got a pin?
I got
A
it
button?
again. Yeah, vision partner
Ah,
among other agencies. So yeah, pretty cool. And then also during that meeting, it was discussed that
take turns wearing it.
Aqua's going to reconnect with the Natural Water Resource Association. And on today, June 17th, I did the Blue Sky training and tonight's board meeting.
Hey, thank you, Director Quady. Director Pacala.
Yes, last June 3rd board meeting I attended, I went on a tour with our Director Macmillan on MWD infrastructure tour. We went to the Pure Water Project. On June 8th, MWD committee meetings in Los Angeles. June 15th, oath taking ceremony in Los Angeles. 17th, today's board meeting.
Hey, thank you, Director Pacala. For myself, at the Aqua meetings on the 4th and the 5th, as Director Quady mentioned, on the 8th, I attended in person to Metropolitan Committee meetings. On the 9th, I watched the remotely for the board meeting. Yesterday, I had dinner with Ernie Avila, president of Aqua, to discuss some of the vision and some of the things that we've discussed and tonight's board meeting. All right. With that, do we have a request for future agenda items?
I'd just like to note some upcoming ones that have stemmed from board requests. On the July 1st meeting, we'll be talking about the committee reorganization. And then on July 15th, we have lined up a speaker on TMDLs per Director Bacala's request, as well as we will be taking advantage of the fact that Carrie Buckman, the environmental programs manager for DCP for DWR, will be coming to AWA on the 16th. So she's going to come and speak to us as well at the board meeting on the 15th. So
It's the 15th of July.
15th of July.
All right. Good stuff. Do we have board comments?
We have upcoming meetings,
Yeah.
Oh,
8C3.
oh yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we accidentally skipped that over that one.
Yep, sorry, I didn't see that on my printout here. Okay, 8C3. Discussion regarding upcoming meetings.
So I'll just give a heads up that as of Monday, I've been appointed. The Region 8 board has approved that I'll be the alternate Aqua Board Task Force on projects statewide significant.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations.
I think one or two.
Upcoming meetings, June 18th. I'll be attending Waterworks District number 1 CSC meeting in Moore Park, sewer rate review. June 23rd, Metropolitan Water District special joint meetings of the executive committee, followed by 30-minute meetings with direct reports to the board. I already mentioned that earlier.
All right. Do we have requests for future agenda items? Okay, board comments.
I have comment on item 10, board comments.
Okay.
As we are aware, we have had several meetings to discuss SMP policy issues. And our general manager has been working on bringing this item back to our board sometimes in the future. So one issue that involves new connections to the SMP, one of the issues we will be looking at, new connection to SMP. Because this may have impact on our purveyors, I'm suggesting that our general manager present this item to our water purveyors before it's brought back to our board.
If you'd like to go to the purveyors for, sometimes the calendar lands that way and sometimes it doesn't. Right now, the consultant is working on the analysis. I actually expect a draft of it next week.
All right, thank you.
So you will be communicating. Purveyors, they may have comments, that's what I'm saying.
First, I need to see the analysis before I can determine exactly what the next steps will be.
Yeah, and also, you know, there might be board comments, suggestions, or changes to whatever recommendations come. And those can come before we approve it and be presented to the purveyors beforehand. That way they know what the board perspective is on these items. So that might be useful as well.
Well, but I think your comment and Director Pacala's comments are in direct conflict. It's a little bit of a chicken and egg situation there. Because it's not like Director Pacala wanted it to be presented to the purveyors before the board. But obviously in order to obtain board input, it would have to be presented to the board before the purveyors.
Okay.
I think it may just be, we only have one purveyor meeting a month.
Right.
So I think frankly, it may just be dictated by calendar, what order we go in, because we have 2 board meetings a month.
Well, if it doesn't work out with the schedules, maybe we just notify our purveyors that this will be considered at the board meeting.
Any of the board, I think all of the purveyors are on our distribution list for the board packet, so they do receive it.
Okay.
Okay.
And some of them, you know, we'll see them pop on remotely. Often, but often not.
Yeah. Okay. With that, we are moving on to information items. Did everyone get a chance to look over the information items, and is there any questions or comments? All right. Good work, Charlotte and staff. And we have a need for a closed session.
No.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. I'll be waiting for your call, Christine.
Okay, give us a few minutes if you don't mind.
Copy. Bye.